source.
Wednesday, real stories on the highways. Tonight at 6:30 on Channel 13.
If you go to an airport gate, you must go through a security check. But what are the chances the person in front of you has a gun? Tonight, we'll show you how many weapons have been taken at McCarran.
Also tonight, racist graffiti covers walls in Spring Valley, and residents there want it covered up before any more damage is done. But first, a fantasy that could become reality for someone with 6 lucky numbers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Allison McCarthy.
And I'm John Daly. Tonight's Powerball drawing is worth $95 million. Powerball tickets are sold in several states, but not here in Nevada. However, they are sold across the state line in Arizona. Rose's Den, 28 miles south of the Hoover Dam, has been busy printing tickets for Las Vegans and Nevadans. The reason the Powerball is reaching astronomical numbers. ABC's Andy Field has more on the rush in other states.
95 million American dollars. Muchos dólares.
No matter how you say it, it's a lot of cash.
Thank you.
The machines are printing at blistering speeds, more than 40,000 tickets a minute. Gamblers in 16 states and Washington, D.C., ignoring the odds to make what could be the investment of the century. Turn $1 into $95 million. And what are you going to do with the money when you win?
What aren't I going to do with the money if I win?
Pay my school loans. Pay off all my mother's credit cards.
Buy my law firm and give everybody a vacation.
Oh, moolah, yen, shekels.
Print me some 5s and 2s.
The actual odds of winning, just 1 in 55 million. You get a better chance of getting struck by lightning than winning the Powerball tonight.
Yeah, but it's a happier kind of thing, isn't it?
Even if you don't live in a Powerball state, you can still play the game. Just ask a friend or relative to buy one for you. They're probably happy to wait in line.
Yeah, some friends that are in Colorado for the holidays called and asked me to buy 20 quick picks for them. So.
And you get part of that?
Oh, I'm taking half of that.
The last time the jackpot soared toward 100 million, a Wisconsin teacher won it all. Some people will drive several hundred miles just to get in on that game.
We had somebody come from New York, spent $2,000. Stayed here a whole day, flew in for the day, spent $2,000. And went back. He didn't win, but...
Andy Field for ABC News, Washington.
Now for some bad news. Before you get the idea to go to Rose's Den to buy your ticket, forget it. The Powerball computer shut down just seconds ago. The lucky numbers will be picked at 8 tonight, Las Vegas time. We will have the numbers for you at 8 o'clock right here on Channel 13.
Oh, no. $25,000, that is what Renata's restaurant is offering for information leading to the killers of Gerald Cerna. Cerna, seen here in home video, was the restaurant manager. He was gunned down last Friday morning during a botched robbery. This is surveillance video of the killers. So far, no new leads in the case. But if you have any information that could help police, call Secret Witness at 385-5555. Some residents of one southwest Las Vegas neighborhood say a graffiti problem is getting out of hand. It's not just the secret codes and initials of gang members anymore. Now the so-called tagging can be understood by everyone, and some of it is so offensive we cannot show it to you. Residents say they fear for the future of their neighborhood and their children.
They want to know what these certain words mean. The simplest one of them being demon. How do you explain to a 7-year-old child what a demon is? Why does he need to know?
The crime rate is not bad here, but the graffiti is terrible, and it's probably going to be a preliminary to maybe an increase in the crime rate.
The county's public response office says it just simply cannot keep up with all of the graffiti, but a recent change may help. The one full-time painter assigned to get rid of graffiti will be assisted by 4 other painters on a part-time basis.
Local TV weatherman Mike Bradley appeared in court this morning to face charges of indecent exposure. Bradley, who is now suspended from KVBC Channel 3, was arrested 3 weeks ago for allegedly exposing himself to a 14-year-old boy. Assisted by his attorney, Oscar Goodman, Bradley admitted to the court that he does have a problem and wants to undergo therapy.
He's a gentleman who recognizes that he has a problem. He's going to confront the problem. He's going to undergo rehabilitation. And he wants to re-enter the community with his head high as it is today, and to do what he has done in the past, and that's be the best weatherman in Las Vegas.
Now, the judge has postponed the case for 6 months pending the outcome of therapy. Bradley and his attorney are hoping at that point the charges will be dropped.
Guns and airports don't mix, and it is a federal offense if you get caught trying to board a flight with a firearm. Despite the warning, more and more weapons are being confiscated from people at McCarran. News 13's Earl Phelps has the inside story.
The number of guns being confiscated at McCarran is on the rise. During the past 12 months, 67 weapons were taken from people at the airport, and that number is above the national average.
Well, it seems high, but when you consider that at McCarran, over 20 million people a year go through security screening here, that's not that high of a number.
The confiscated guns are stored at Metro's evidence vault. Weapons like these handguns. Metro impounds about 6 guns a month taken at the airport.
Getting caught trying to carry a gun through one of these metal detectors can carry some severe penalties. You can face criminal charges and civil penalties of up to $10,000. Although McCarran has some of the most sophisticated screening devices in the country, the $500,000 of high-tech machinery isn't perfect.
You know, the thing is how many of them get through, not how many of them you catch.
And that number of weapons, officials at the airport may never know. Earl Phelps, News 13.
In the past year, at least one person has faced criminal charges after being caught with a gun at McCarran, but many others were given fines.
Well, the Postal Rate Commission has put in its 2 cents about raising the price of a stamp. Actually make that 3 cents, because that's how much first-class stamps will be going up. This is the first rate increase in nearly 5 years. That's when stamps went from 25 to 29 cents, as they are now. Early next year, the price of a first-class stamp will be 32 cents. The commission recommended a price increase across the board, though, not just with stamps. Here's a look. Postcards will be a penny more. 1 pound priority mailings will go up a dime, and express mail jumps 80 cents. Speaking of money, Wall Street had a fractional gain today. Blue chips were up less than 1 point. Declining interest rates on the bond market kept stocks up most of the day. Locally, it was a mixed day. Caesars was up 75 cents. Showboat dropped 25 cents. And FIB was off $1.63.
A heated exchange in the courtroom in the trial of O.J. Simpson. Prosecutors and defense attorneys clashed over Denise Brown, Nicole Brown Simpson's sister. Denise Brown says she knows who killed her sister, O.J. Simpson. ABC's Jerry Giordano wraps up today's events.
Verbal sniping continues between the families of the victims and O.J. Simpson's high-profile defense team.
And they're entitled to their opinion, but their opinions, I'm sure, are based really on what they have been told by the police and the district attorney, which may or may not be factual.
Shapiro's statement comes in the wake of recent comments from the victims' families that they believe O.J. Simpson is probably guilty. Shapiro said yesterday that he was disturbed by their comments, but also said they are emotionally involved and forgave them for prejudging O.J. Simpson. And that prompted harsh criticism last night from both victims' families.
Mr. Simpson's defense team can posture and pose all they want to. That's their right and maybe even their job. But they can't expect the family of Nicole Brown to turn the other cheek any longer.
Mr. Shapiro, I don't need your forgiveness. It is my right, as it is everyone's, to form and have an opinion. How dare you reduce our feelings to emotionally involved?
Nonetheless, Defense Attorney Johnny Cochran is suspicious about what has prompted the families to speak out.
I don't think it's any coincidence that all of a sudden the DA speaks out, the chief of police speaks out, both families speak out. It's clearly orchestrated.
In court later on, Cochran went on to say he believes the comments are an effort to keep O.J. Simpson from getting a fair trial. And pool reporters say that drew an angry response from prosecutor Marcia Clark.
All of this is the defense's own creation, that by holding their own press conferences, creating publicity, trying to give a sympathetic image of Simpson, they had, in her words, given the family a bellyful.
There is also speculation that members of the prosecution have obtained perhaps diaries or letters from Nicole Brown Simpson, possibly detailing spousal abuse. The prosecution admits it does have some documents that will be turned over to the defense tomorrow. In Los Angeles, Jerry Giordano reporting for ABC News.
Also today, a supervisor for L.A. County says as of October 31st, the county has spent more than $1.2 million on the Simpson case, and that does not include money spent by the police department.
Shifting gears now, back here at home, we will have another night near the freezing mark. Randy will fill us in.
But first, the cutest geography lesson to ever board an airplane. We'll tell you about the mini travels of Popeye when we come back. A famous movie star and a world traveler. Is it a match made in heaven?
Or is it just a temporary fling? Well, he has traveled from coast to coast and is now getting ready for a trip to Canada, but he's no ordinary traveler.
He's Popeye, not the sailorman, the teddy bear. A third-grade class from Oklahoma sent Popeye on a trip to learn about the world, and he just reached Las Vegas. What an education that'll be. News 13's Alyssa Hahn has the story.
If his friends could see him now, the third graders back in Edmond, Oklahoma knew Popeye would get around, but who would guess he would show up with Marilyn Monroe? How is Popeye different from your other companions?
Very different. He's cuddly. And I just love cuddly Popeyes.
Popeye is a geography project. Attached to his collar are simple instructions. Please take me with you and record what we see and do together in my journal. As soon as you finish, pass me on to another traveler. Popeye's diary says he's been traveling since last September. He was found at the Gold Coast ice cream parlor, and since then he's been touring the casinos.
We really think that the kids came up with a wonderful idea, a creative way to learn geography.
The passers-by at the Imperial Palace weren't too sure what all the fuss was about.
Nothing surprised me in Vegas. There should be a big fuss, because after all, it's Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn didn't seem to mind that Popeye kept a few tokens from past companions. After all, he needs the picture games to help the time go by on the airplane. The third graders from Chisholm Elementary want to make sure he gets back home, so they included a map highlighting the Will Rogers Airport in Oklahoma City. But first, a night on the town with Marilyn. Alyssa Hahn, News 13.
And he'll never be the same. Popeye has already been to Mexico. His next destination is Canada. The third graders at Chisholm Elementary asked that he be sent back home to Oklahoma in March.
And hopefully we will find out about that. We have a clarification on those Powerball numbers when we will tell you what they are. It'll be sometime after Sister Sister. That'll be sometime between maybe 8:25, 8:30. So just want to let you know to tune in right after Sister Sister. We will have those numbers for you. It's a great night to watch the numbers because it's going to be chilly out there.
Yeah, it is. Good night to be inside.
Cold overnight, but still nice in the afternoon. It's going to be a warmer day tomorrow. We have some pollution in the air, too. We'll show you that as soon as we come back.
Well, if you were with us at 5, you probably heard there was a bit of controversy over Randy's shirt and tie.
I just can't even comprehend how you would even have thought this might go together.
No, see, it's just getting mean around here. I put okay, it's not the prettiest tie, it's not the prettiest shirt, and maybe it doesn't go together. It's not that bad, do you think?
John?
I mean, it's different.
Suddenly, everybody's become the fashion police around this entire state.
You've got to step up. But you say there's somebody that gave a call.
Earlier tonight.
This is going to be good.
Earlier tonight, a guy named John McBurney, nice guy, called in, and he said he would donate $100 to our favorite charity here at the station if I took this coat off and showed that this is a real shirt. He believes it's like pajamas or something like that.
Only if you'll put it back on quickly.
Jeez. I'm telling... Calvin Klein sitting next to me. I mean, this is rough. This is... All right, we'll do that in a moment. Take a look at the numbers from this afternoon. Actually, I want to show you some pictures around town. Beautiful day around the viewing area. Nice. In fact, this is around Tropicana. That's Godzilla, John.
Wow.
It's one of those displays to get people into.
Not even he would wear that shirt.
Godzilla would wear this shirt. In fact, he's wearing this shirt. I can tell. Let's show you the numbers from this. You guys are rough. This is a rough crowd tonight. High today, 62 degrees. Low this morning, 33. Going to be chilly once again tonight. Temperature right now, 51 degrees. Humidity, 30%. Wind out of the west at 7. The barometer falling 30.19. Let's talk about pollution. We do have a alert tonight. In fact, we're in the unhealthful category tonight, according to the Clark County Health District. From about 6 tonight until about 2 a.m., they are urging folks with upper respiratory problems to stay indoors, especially in east central Las Vegas. Pollution is going to be rather high. Carbon monoxide on the high side. All right, let's talk about the satellite picture. For the most part, clear skies around our valley, and in fact around Utah, Arizona, Southern California. All is quiet. You got to go up into the northwest if you want to see some unsettled weather. And it's a pretty strong cold front starting to pound into the northwest. We showed you earlier tonight some real windy conditions around Seattle. Here's some other wind gusts reported today. Spokane reporting a 41-mile-per-hour wind gust. Casper, Wyoming, 52. And Livingston, Montana, a 78-mile-per-hour gust. The reason we're mentioning this storm, we think around Saturday that this whole system is slowly going to work its way down to the south. And yes, it could bring us some wind and probably some rain showers around Saturday. Otherwise, around the country today, pretty dry from Illinois on into Kentucky. Throughout much of the southeast, things starting to dry out. They had a kind of a soggy day yesterday. Our weather will look like this tomorrow. High pressure hangs on. Nice conditions. In fact, we'll see temperatures a little bit warmer tomorrow than they were today. Forecast then for tonight, clear, low 36, wind out of the west, 5 to 15 miles an hour. For tomorrow, nice looking day, sunshine, temperature high 64, wind variable, 15 miles an hour. Out at Mount Charleston tomorrow, nice day, high 55 degrees with an overnight low of 12, and at Lake Mead, sunny, beautiful day at the lake, temperature 75 degrees. And the extended forecast, Friday nice, but maybe windy, 61. Saturday, possibly some showers coming in, a little bit cooler, a temperature high at 51 degrees. Now, I want you to know something before I do this. I would only do this for charity.
Yeah, okay.
It's a real shirt.
And it's a great cause, so go to it.
Do I need to stand up for this?
$100. John McBurney.
If I stand up, John, this is John McBurney. No, it's not that bad. Wait, look.
I'll hold that for
Turn
you.
around. Is it a real shirt? Yeah, it
What's
is.
one of those J.C. Penney poses? Okay. It's a nice shirt. All right, it's a little busy.
Okay, it's a nice shirt, it's a nice tie, but it's not a nice shirt with that tie.
Think of it this way. We can use it as a test pattern now. You know, when we go off at 2 a.m., we'll just go to my shirt.
There we go.
Randy, you're
That'll
a
keep everybody
trendsetter.
awake.
Thank
you are a trendsetter,
Thank you,
my
Sarah.
friend. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, golfers complaining about a lack of space will have something to be excited about. They're going to get a shirt. No, they're not. Ron will have details.
That's right. And you've seen it before, the punch. Coming up, we'll hear from the man whose jaw was rattled.
Well, it's really the Super Bowl of rodeos, and it's coming to town.
That's right. Friday night is opening night.
You seen cowboy hats all over the place?
You got it, partner.
Everywhere?
A lot of country singers, Steve.
Yeah.
That too? That's all right, John. Let's keep going with this country stuff here. All right. An interesting thing happens to the Thomas & Mack Center every year about this time. They rip out the basketball court, they melt the ice for the hockey arena, then they dump tons of dirt in there. Not just any dirt, though, but National Finals rodeo dirt. It's different, I guess. Today, some of the guys were out there getting ready for the calf roping event. This is not much of a contest here with the calf already roped. The guys just throw them down and tie them up. The rodeo kicks off Friday nights at the Thomas & Mack Center. This is the biggest event of the year for the world's best cowboys. All right, the Thunder are in Houston tonight, taking on the Arrows. They're playing without Alexei Yashin tonight, the Thunder are. He is out with a hernia. Hard to say how long Yashin will be out of the lineup. At last check, the Thunder trail in the second period, 2-0. Now, by now, you've probably seen those punches. In fact, we showed those punches just a few moments ago that Riddick Bowe threw at his news conference earlier this week. Yesterday, Bowe told us that the punches were not cheap shots. Bowe is the only guy, though, who sees it that way. Today, for the first time, Donald responded to the punches.
Yes, you know, I think it's very sad that what had to happen at the last press conference. You know, I thought that me and Riddick Bowe was world-class fighters and supposed to be very professional, but I expect that from a journeyman.
All right, Bowe being called a journeyman there. Of course, he's a former heavyweight champ. Donald said he did not know the punches were coming. Now, the big league weekend for the Las Vegas Stars keeps getting bigger every year. This year, 8 major league teams will be coming to Las Vegas. They are the Yankees, the Cubs, Indians, A's, Mariners, Brewers, am I going too fast yet? Brewers, Padres, and Giants. There will be 6 games beginning March 18th. Of course, all of this will depend on whether Major League Baseball players decide to sign a contract this year. Tickets go on sale for the games tomorrow. A new public golf course will be built in the northwest part of town. Johnny Miller will design the course built on West Charleston out at Peccole Ranch. There's another Miller there. That's Governor Bob Miller. How's that? Hitting a shot out of the sand there. The course will be finished in the fall of next year. Miller wants the course to look as natural as possible.
And so my goal is to make the thing look like it's been here a long time and it just fit right in with what the existing topography is. And so if there's a signature, I'm very into natural type and very natural look and not contrived railroad ties and phony looking lakes and all that stuff. I like to make the course look very natural.
And some college golf out at Spanish Trail today. UNLV competing and hosting the IGT Rebel Classic. The Rebels win this tournament by 1 stroke over Texas Christian today. The top Rebel golfers were Chad Campbell and the guy you're watching right here, who is Gilbert Morales from Argentina. They finished tied for 5th place today. Great performance once again by Dwayne Knights and the Rebel Golf team. They are playing some very good golf right now.
Solid team.
Solid is the best way to describe them. They get even better next year with this guy, Ted O from Southern California, from Torrance, who is perhaps the top young golfer in the country right now.
Well, good for us. Okay.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Ron. Well, cold hands are going to be warmer thanks to some helpful children.
They're creating a mountain of mittens, and you can help. We'll tell you how next.
Sad story tonight. More than 2 weeks ago, Annabelle Goodwin's husband went to get some gas. Tonight, Annabelle is still waiting for Vincent's return. In the meantime, the 77-year-old woman has spent the last 2 weeks waiting in a van on a dirt road in northern Arizona. Inside the van, Annabelle survived with only a day's worth of food and a few blankets. The story of Annabelle and Vincent tonight on News 13 at 11. And before we go tonight, the heartwarming story of some thoughtful young students and their efforts to help beat the winter weather.
The student council at Garside Middle School has been collecting cash for the Christmas season. All of the money was then used to buy mittens, more than 100 pairs, and they'll be given to the needy. It's an idea the students call cold hands, warm hearts.
Means that, people have good hearts out there. That's just that their hands, they're really cold. Good people who don't deserve to be cold.
No, and the mountain of mittens is still growing, and with the extra cold weather we've had so far this year, that sounds like it's going to be a pretty good idea and will be much needed.
Pat on the back to all of them.
Yeah, good job.
For their help. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. You'll be back at 11. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's right. And remember, after Sister Sister, we're going to have those numbers of the Powerball lottery.
Powerball.
Hope
Good
you're
luck.
gonna win.